Hey everyone, it's Colin with Legalized Mischief Productions. Thank you for joining me and welcome. And today I'm going to be doing a short tutorial on how I paint gemstones. And I wanted to do a one-off because this technique that I use to paint gemstones can apply to, targeting lenses or, the optics on a bolt rifle or sniper rifle or something like that. Any kind of round lens or gem. These are ovular, obviously, as are most Aeldari gems. But any kind of little gemstone or lens that you find in Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40k, pretty much wherever, this is how I paint them. This is the approach. So I wanted to do a one-off. We have the shuriken catapults here from the Farseer Skyrunner kit that we're doing a step-by-step tutorial on. But I wanted to do a one-off because it is so prevalent in 40k to paint these, and it's a pretty straightforward technique. So we're going to be painting these turquoise, and so I'm using Stegadon Scale Green from GW, Vallejo Model Color Turquoise, Vallejo Model Color Blue Green, which if you don't have, this is a phenomenal color, and then just Vallejo Model Color White. And this technique applies no matter what color you're painting the thing, right? You can paint literally any color. This is mostly about where to place these highlights and where to place the shadows. So first things first, we're going to take some of that Stegadon Scale Green and we're just going to base coat. The gem. And typically, you want to make sure to get down on the sides of the gem as well. This is going to show up a lot better on these bigger gems on the top here, but I did want to show that these same techniques work on those small gems there at the bottom. It really doesn't matter. When you get to like really big, Wraith Knight sized gems, there are a couple on there that are pretty stout as far as their size, but maybe you do a little bit more kind of blending and stuff. But when you're dealing with gems this size, you don't need to do anything too crazy, as you'll see. So nice base coat. If you don't have a good just kind of base coat color like that, you can just base, like I could base with turquoise and put a turquoise wash over the top, like a turquoise ink over the top, and shade it that way. It's something I do a lot with lenses because they're usually inset into something and they have like a little rim around them. And so I'll use a wash to shade kind of the rim around. If you picture, you have like the metal ring around the lens on, something like a Targeter or, Space Marine Terminator or something like that. So first things first, we're going to take just pure turquoise. Make sure we have a nice tip. And then we're going to start on the gem, kind of where this, if you can break the gem into three parts. Basically, there's the top here, and then the middle, and then the bottom. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting kind of not at the top. We're going to be starting off to the side, and we're going to draw up, we're going to draw down the side and shade. Holy smokes, it is just not showing up at all, is it? What is the problem? Yeah. It would be pretty helpful if you could see the colors, huh? I guess it's a little better. I mean, it's pretty dark on the model, but not that dark. So we're shading, or excuse me, we're highlighting. This is curved, as you can see there. So we're leaving another kind of little oval here. And on the smaller gems, we're just interested in getting kind of the same thing here. Now we're going to switch over to the blue-green. I love this color. You'll be able to see this for sure. And now we're going a little bit thinner, and we want some of that turquoise to be showing still. But the important thing is that this is curved. Right? We're following the curve of the gem, and we want to leave the turquoise showing underneath. We don't want to obliterate the turquoise, and we want to leave this dark ring here at the bottom. We don't want to get all the way down. This is a little much. This is perfect right there. And we can always go back, get a little bit of that stegodon green, and just kind of tone that down just a bit. There we go. And see, we kind of fixed that gem there. That one still looks good. Maybe a little bit. And you do want to go around the bottom on these gems, because that accentuates the kind of curvature of the gem there. And then same thing on these littler ones. Like so. I'm going to take a little bit of white. And we're going to mix it with the blue-green. And we want this to be pretty pale. That is good. You see how much lighter that is than the blue-green. And now this, we're just going to do kind of the lower right corner. We're not going to do the whole line like we did with the blue-green. We're just going to do the lower right there. Now you see we're starting to get a very round looking. I'm actually going to come back and grab a little bit of that blue-green. Just get a little bit of the top there. There we go. Let's come back, get that mix, and then just in the lower right there, and put a little bit of that. This is super tricky on these little gems, but it is important because that's going to give you that kind of 3D look, and that contrast, that shininess is what's going to give you. Contrast is what's going to make it look kind of shiny and gem-like. Easy peasy. And now we get a little bit of pure white, get a nice tip on the brush. And now in the top left corner, we just put a little dot like that. Same thing on these. And there we have Aeldari gems. And those look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with those. Turquoise is a great color to use for gems. I like using red a lot for gems. So you'll see that we're leaving that dark line on the bottom of on the sides of the gemstone, because that really accentuates kind of the 3D on there. So I am not convinced that this bottom right is really light enough. So we're going to hit that with even more pale. So I know I said I was done, but there we go. That's better. So that was more white than blue-green, and that really gave that kind of 3D effect on those gems. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, as always. And we'll be going over this again in the step-by-step tutorial for the Craft World Farseer Skyrunner. But I wanted to do a one-off so that you can just kind of see how straightforward it is. If you just concentrate on this kind of lower right area just getting lighter and lighter, and you put the dot of light in the top left, it gives it that 3D look and that shiny look. You can go back and do like a gloss varnish over the gems at the end. I've never really found that necessary. But this is a really straightforward way to get some pretty good looking gemstones. So thank you as always. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you soon.